Yet again, you have to always remember that we're in America, we have this perspective, and we think a lot of craziness is going on, and it is. You hear about with the COVID stuff and the reactions of the state, New York's, New Jersey's of the world, Whitler. You have California. Those guys are insane, and thankfully, I live in Texas, where we are 100% up when in capacity, and no more mask mandates or anything like that. And one of the things that I'm always reminded, because I have a lot of not only supporters that are from other areas, that are not America, and they send me all of this stuff. It's just a reminder, it really is, that there are spots that have it worse, believe it or not. And I'm about to play a video that came from, I guess, the Canadian, in Ontario, Canada. And it's such a freaky, it's a weird thing in terms of how we got there. But I want you to just listen to how easily they just say this shit. Let's check this out real quick.
We have implemented the strictest measures in all of North America.
And they're bragging about that. Imagine that. Imagine that right there. Look at us. We're encroaching, or rather impeding on the liberty of people in our geographical area, and he's bragging about it.
And the difficult truth is, every public health measure we have left comes with a massive cost to people and their lives.
No shit.
But we have never shied away from doing what's necessary.
We have made
who gets to dictate that? Which, obviously we know it's arbitrary, but you get what I'm saying? It's it's the battered. It's not even the bad. Well, a lot of people do have this, the battered wife syndrome. But I guess that's how much of a psychopath or sociopath rather are these people, in which they so easily just say, yeah, we know we're fucking your life up. We're going to do it anyway. Because we have to do that. That's crazy, man.
Deliberate decision to temporarily enhance police officers' authority for the duration of the stay-at-home order. Moving forward, police will have the authority to require any individual who is not in a place of residence to, first, provide their purpose for not being at home and provide their home address. Police will also have the authority to stop a vehicle to inquire about an individual's reason for leaving their residence.
And our inspector.
All right, just oh my God, just for a quick recap as far as what that helper just said. She said that they have just up and bam, we now give the police the right to question you, pull you over, whatever it is. You don't have to have done anything wrong. We're pulling you over, and they gonna get. It's basically papers, please. What the fuck are you doing out? Is what they asking you. It's none of your goddamn business. But to them, it is. They're saying, or she's saying, they've granted them the authority, illegitimately, of course, albeit, granting them the authority to pull you over, question you for any reason, and ask you, what the hell are you doing out? And then they get your address, which they can probably get that easy enough. But you get what I'm saying? That's what? That's insane. Anybody out of the, she said that, again, straight face. Anybody out of the residence. The police had an authority to question, what the hell are you doing out? Papers, the papers, please. What? We're not done yet.
Will also be ensuring that those who absolutely must come to work are strictly following the public health measures. For our employers and employees, take note. This is your last warning.
Bro, like, are you hearing what these guys are saying? Like, it's obviously all of it's a threat. The difference between they're authoritarian nonetheless. There's no different state to state, country to country. They're all authoritarian. But these guys have gotten so emboldened, and this is unfortunately what happens when you allow this type of crap when it comes to the state. The populace does, because usually they have to try to mask their authoritarianism because it doesn't sound as like convincing, obviously, and people are more likely to, or rather less likely in this case, they're less likely to disobey or fight back when you mask it. They're not even masking it. They're not masking it at all. Saying this is your last, we doing all this is your last damn warning. You follow the rules or else.
Wondering about these new police powers to just randomly stop someone walking down the street or to pull over a car. What happens if a person refuses to answer the police questions?
So by issuing these new additional enforcement measures, it allows police officers to ask the person why they are not at their place of residence and what their place of residence is. And specifically to your question, if you are not willing to comply, then you are breaking the law.
If someone sees their neighbors breaking these,
and look how stupid. I don't think if y'all understand, I know kind of they're going in and out of the between questions. But I don't know if you guys are noticing, like, it's like they're putting a mask on, putting a mask on, and then they take it off when they start talking or when they get a question directed to them.
These new regulations and having a party in their yard, that sort of thing. Should people call the police on their neighbors?
In terms of people calling to snitch, to inform, look, we all have a personal responsibility. If it means saving lives, then I think we have to think about what your social responsibilities are as an individual to make sure that you don't empower other people and invite a whole bunch of individuals to your home.
With that being said, right there, I know it's a different country, and that's the end of the video. I know it's a different country. Everybody, definitely the people that are in Canada who got mad at Gina Carano for her saying what she said, shut the fuck up. Matter of fact, apologize first and then shut the fuck up. Apologize first and then shut up, because this is literally exactly what that tweet, or rather that post that she shared out is the same. It is the literal. It embodies what she was talking about that y'all got mad at, and that is, by way of the state, of course, them turning the citizens on each other. This is why they we talk about Nazi Germany and whatnot. This is why they were as powerful as what they were. You think you just come up out of nowhere and you just have that much of a control over an entire geographical area? Of course not. And she's like giggling, like, Kanji, you the snitch. Yeah, basically, that's exactly what we're doing. Because you have such a social responsibility. You have such a social responsibility because this is about saving lives. Look. Canada is one of those countries where people in America, particularly the authoritarian left, acts as if they are just awesome. It's amazing. Right? They have more laws, and because they got free health care and all of that, it's just it's the greatest place in the world. Where are you seeing a lot of similar stuff like this happening? It's in instances where people don't value like gun rights as much and what have you. A very compliant populace. You got the Australias of the world, the New Zealands of the world, Canada. This is always the danger, and this is exactly what it is that we're talking about. So it sucks because some people have to live and experience this. But hopefully, I guess, to white pill you, if you will, there's a lot of people that are looking at this and now they're going to have to understand it because they're living it. A lot of the authoritarian left has an inability to see beyond the immediate and beyond the ideal. So they look at government must take care of every person all the time. And they look at it like that's the responsibility. They make all these buzz terms, social contract, all of this sort of stuff. And because they can't look beyond that, the ideal and what's right there in front of them, instances like this, they will act as if will never happen. What they have said and essentially bragged about it, the cops, this is a police state. This is what it is, literally what it is. It's a police state. Can pull you over whenever you out for any reason and ask you, why the hell are you here? What are you doing? And obviously punish you. They, like she said, you are in turn breaking the law. If you aren't abiding by their measures. And not only that, they're encouraging their neighbors to snitch you out. Again, for all of the Canadians that got mad at her, like Gina Carano, for saying what she said, you are living, if you're in Ontario, Canada, you are living that exactly. And she said it. So when you guys got fake mad, acting like, oh, well, she was insulting the Jewish people. Obviously, that wasn't the case. You are literally living exactly what she had feared. You're living in it. Now, I feel sorry, of course. I feel bad, rather, for a lot of people that are out there because I know there's, again, I got a lot of supporters that are out there in Canada. And they didn't ask for this. But the reason why that's allowed to exist because they have fostered a very compliant, complicit environment when it comes to the people that live in that country, period. Where they're okay with that. And this is why even if you go like in the comment sections, like right here, yeah, it sucks, but they have a stay-at-home order and people apparently aren't, like, they will make an excuse for this bad behavior. Remember, never mind the virus itself. You guys have heard all of my thoughts on what's going on with that and how obviously the response does not match up with what the virus does to people. Like, this doesn't even make sense. And even if it did, it still doesn't give you authority to do that. But nonetheless, you can see that there are people that are like, yeah, you should be doing that. And that's why they're able to do it. It's dangerous. It's scary. But for those of you that can't see beyond today, that's what we are talking about. When you have people that value gun rights so much and you think that, oh, what's the big deal? Just give all your guns to the government. It's stuff like this. And they will never let a crisis, the authoritarians will never let a crisis go to waste. And that's will always be, like, they're not going to. This is like right out of the playbook, okay? When it comes to the rise of authoritarian, even further authoritarian regimes, most of them, actually, I would argue all of them, have been socialistic historically, especially the most deadly ones, the most deadliest ones. They don't come about by way of them being like it doesn't happen just like that, number one. But it doesn't come about in them telling you that, okay, we're going to oppress the hell out of you. Of course, that wouldn't fly. It has to be a gradual thing. But most importantly, they have to package it in a way that makes you feel as if this absolutely needs to happen and they're doing it for the greater good, which is a term I hate. That's how they come about. What's the crisis now? It's about saving you. right? From a virus with a over 99% survival rate. It's about saving lives. Of course, you would want them to save lives, right? They have monopoly on caring about people, of course. And here we go. That's how things like this are allowed to happen. This is why I made it so clear. And obviously you can go back and look at my old videos. As this was before really this became a thing even in America. I said, and I made it clear, y'all need to have people need to have the freedom to make the decisions for themselves. The state does not need to make the decision and apply one size fits all. And there were a lot of people that sat up here and told me that I was the problem. I was the issue. And it was just going to be some momentary, like some just for the time being. And I told y'all that was never on the table. If you give them an inch, they take the mile. The most important time to remain principled is when hard times become a thing. You cannot abandon them. If you abandon them, you have shown them, particularly the guys that get to rule over people, illegitimately, excuse me, I don't know why I can't talk, albeit, but you're telling them that all we have to do, give them a couple promises. And this is also the problem with the nanny state and the welfare statism, because it incentivizes this sort of compliant behavior, right? We are the government and we're here to help. That's what they say. And it's their responsibility to play mommy and daddy to you because you can't be responsible as an adult. And they use that to control, rule over, and implement these measures that just, and no other, it's just authoritarian police statism. Big shout out to everybody, all the supporters that are out there in Canada. But I hope you guys are being careful, and I hope, it just really sucks to have to see the y'all going through this crap. But for the Americans, goes to show that just when we think it's bad out here, there's countries that outdo us.